Hi, welcome to another edition of Live from Hollywood with your host, Laci Kay Somers. I'm Laci Kay, and this is Franko. What's up, Franko?
What's going on, Laci? Basically, what I've been getting into over the past week is setting up this webinar we're going to be doing with Ron Roper of the Influence Group and also Paris Shelton, who has worked 10 years with Warner Music Group. We're going to be doing that this weekend at 11 a.m. If anybody wants to deal with that or be in contact with that, just go ahead and hit me up on the email. So, Laci, what have you been getting into for the last week?
Well, besides introducing myself for the first time on the show like you, I was in your spot. It was so cool. Anyways, I messed up a little bit, but that's okay. I just got back from Las Vegas like right now, like literally from the airport. So they flew me and a couple of models out for the Maxim magazine pool party, and then we did a dinner at the Encore Hotel where we stayed, and it was pretty cool. We did like the club thing. I DJ'd at a few clubs because I do that kind of stuff, so that was pretty fun. We met up with famous DJ Mike Fusion, and it's Vegas, so you party and just hang out with everybody. It's crazy. It's craziness.
Wow, that sounds pretty exciting. Like it's always weird because every time I ask you that question, you always like have so much to say, and I have like so little. So what we're going to do, is go ahead and move along and introduce our topics of the day, which are first and foremost we're going to talk about what's more important, and is it more important to get radio play or is it more important to perform at shows? And we're going to talk about are paying to do shows overrated? And then we're going to talk about what is the benefit of focusing on the local music scene. So just to get things started, I'm going to go ahead and introduce the musical guests for today, which is music beatmaker and artist Deleuze, and also George, who owns a studio in Orlando, Florida. Say hello to the people, Deleuze and George.
Hey everybody, how's it going?
So Deleuze, just to get things started, tell the people a little bit about the genre that you're in and the things that you do in your style of music.
Well, thank you, I appreciate it. I'm Deleuze, el ángel musical, or translated to English, the musical angel. And basically what I do, I work in a lot of different genres, but my primary area of focus is Latin music and urban music. And my partner George here, he's been in the studio owner here since 1989, so he's been in the business for a long time, working with all types of music and commercial as well.
Wow, George, sounds like you've really been in it for a long time. So tell us a little bit more about your studio in Orlando.
Well, studios, like I said, it's been here for a lot of years, about 23. We have a couple of control rooms and nice recording suites. We've done just about everything you can imagine over 23 years. Is every conceivable style and type of music and artist has been through here. Some very unusual instruments have been recorded, languages from literally around the world, and we do a lot of production. Digital music that's sequenced and programmed, and we should do live recording as well. But great deal of music production. Artists, individuals, or small groups will come in, and we will produce the music. Perhaps add orchestration, symphonic sounds, brass, woodwinds, the entire rhythm section.
Sounds pretty complex.
So you're doing what you love. That's good.
That's great.
Not a lot of people can say that.
Yeah.
So Deleuze, just tell us a little bit more about your musical style. Like when you do your producing, what genre would you classify your beat making in?
Okay, well, I make a lot of hip hop, rap, reggaeton, a lot of Latin music, a lot of different types of Latin music as well. When it comes to either merengue, bachata, or cumbia, I like to mix a lot of Latin influences with urban music and R&B. as well. So I have a good mix of different influences, but that's basically my primary area of focus, and that's how I do it. I like to bring in a little bit of bilingual taste into it as well. I think that we have a new generation of bilinguals around the world, really not only in the United States, but people are really not. They're forgetting about a lot of the bilingual people that listen to English and Spanish music and to other music from different languages. And I think that that's where I come in to
Nice.
help those people out.
So wait, Duluth, you're not from Orlando, right? Where are you from? You were telling me, and I just like I love it. So where are you from?
Well, I was born in the Dominican Republic. My father is from Puerto Rico, and then I grew up in New York, and then I came down here to Orlando, and I kind of started making music on my own, learning on my own, being a self-starter.
Yeah, so
Uh,
you're self-taught then.
right, right.
And working at a studio. You got it good.
Yeah, thankfully, and then actually George here has been teaching me a lot of new tricks as well regarding the studio software.
Right. That's difficult.
So you're saying that you originally started out in New York and then you moved to Florida. Is that correct?
Right, right. But I
So,
was in New York till I was 10 years old, so I wasn't really making music in New York.
oh, okay. So was your influences some of the people that came out of Florida? Like I know a couple like Pitbull and stuff like that. Would that be an accurate depiction of like what your sound is like?
No, actually, I think that I've been a little bit more influenced by New York style regarding hip hop and R&B, and but Miami does play an influence as well. But regarding the Miami scene, I like to take the influence from the party music, the club music. That is where I do take my influence regarding the party scene from
Okay,
Miami.
cool. We have a question from one of the people in the back, and what they want to know is reggaeton still popular, and what about Moombahton?
All
Am I saying that right? I don't even know if I'm saying that right. Moombahton.
right. Well, reggaeton is still very popular, even though in some areas it has died down. But it's still popular because Puerto Rico, which is the place where reggaeton became commercially uh, recognized worldwide, they're still producing a lot of reggaeton from Puerto Rico and still distributing it worldwide. But there's a lot of new influence coming in from other countries, other Latin countries, especially like Panama. They're bringing in new influences to reggaeton. They're changing up the music, and so there's a lot of new things coming in still with reggaeton. Reggaeton is not over yet. It's just still in the process of evolving. It's still evolving into bigger and better things.
So you might be ahead of your time then a little bit. Have stuff coming out that's like people are like, what's that?
Yeah.
So I know you said earlier that that you were mostly influenced by by the culture in New York than you are from the culture in Florida. Could you explain to us a little bit more about what you mean when you say that?
Well, specifically the hip hop and the R&B. I do like the East Coast hip hop. Uh, I do prefer it a little bit more. But being here in Florida, I've been here for a lot of years now. I've been here for 15 years. So I am familiar with Dirty South, and I do make Dirty South as well, Dirty South beats, and I record a lot of Dirty South rappers, so I'm familiar with it. But if I were to say, who's my favorite rapper or who do I prefer listening to, I would prefer listening to Nas over Little John. Let's say for example, as an example.
Yeah, I agree with that. I would probably prefer Little John. I mean, I probably prefer Nas over Little John too. But if you want to just have some fun and break some stuff, I always go with Little John. What do you think about that, George? Do you listen to hip hop?
Yeah, plenty. There's, I guess, my comment about hip hop in general, it includes, it's kind of a blanket category for a lot of different types of styles of music. I am more interested in the, I'll call it the melodic styles, more vocals, more melodies, more of a conventional song arrangement rather than a continuous pattern, a beat, a loop, phrases, things like that. So I like a lot of.
What was the name of that music again?
No, hip hop.
No, you said like the other version that you like.
Oh no, it's just that hip hop in general incorporates a lot of different.
Oh, okay,
styles.
I got you. Yeah.
So there isn't anyone in particular, but I mean that's kind of a blanket term for a lot of various styles. I prefer the ones with more melodic content. Melodies and melodies preferred to rap, for example. Actually,
okay. So if you two are both driving down the car, right? Driving in the car down the street, I want to know first from Deleuze and then from George, what's in your current rotation on your playlist?
Well, that's a hard one. Well, right now the first thing that pops into my mind is Daddy Yankee, but I can't listen to Daddy Yankee all the time either. I gotta switch it up too. But I guess that would be one of my choices.
And what do you say, George?
I wouldn't have anything specific. I'm not too particular about who actually is the artist. What appeals to me most is the vocals first, as in melodies, vocals, rather than I'm not a big rap fan. I appreciate the vocals a lot. In particular, and there's a lot of styles that rappers that incorporate vocals as well. Usually harmonies, voices in the background or in the hook in the chorus, which is would be my favorite styles, my preference. I like the vocals above everything else. Vocals are.
Okay, I see that you mainly, when you listen to hip hop music, your main focus is the vocals. But I know from talking with Laci over a period of time, she says that most of the time she doesn't care what they're saying. She just listens to the beat and she just rocks to the beat.
Yeah,
So
well, there
Laci,
you go. Yeah, that's a good point. In fact, the vocal part, the rap itself, becomes another percussion component of the music. And that's a good description. She's exactly right. There's it's much more percussive and rhythmic, and that whole beat, it becomes the song and the music. And I can relate to that. I can understand that a lot. And that of course is an important component of hip hop in general. But again, as far as my preference, what appeals to me most is the vocals. There's something about the human voice that I like a lot, and if that's more prominent in the mix, I prefer that.
So finally, when I put all of the tracks together, it finally came out how I wanted. Check it out.
So Laci, go ahead and clarify what I was saying. So tell people what it is that you vibe out to when you drive down the street.
Actually, recently, because I've been getting into the DJ thing and mixing songs, actually, and getting back from Vegas where there's nothing but like house music. So like lately, I've been listening to like Gypsy Kings and Alex DeVito and like just like the house music, which is so weird because like I'm just like a hip hop person, but I mean I'm very diverse, but if it has a beat, I'm dancing. Like, I don't know. It's crazy. Like, I don't know. Like, I mean, I think he's right like about the voice thing and stuff. But I don't know if it has a good beat. Like I don't even care what they're saying. I don't know. What about you? What do you listen to, Franko? What's on your playlist?
Oh man, you just put me on the spot here.
Pretty serious. No,
what's on my playlist? Well, you know me. I was raised in the '90s, so and if you talk to a lot of the people that I deal with, they'll tell you, "Oh, Franko is stuck in the '90s." Like all I listen to pretty much is like old school Wu-Tang Clan and old school Biggie, old school Tupac. I still listen to Bone Thugs and Harmony from time
Me
to time.
too.
You know? Oh, you do? Okay.
I love it. I love '90s music, especially '90s rap. I don't know what.
Yeah. And then it seems like at some point it just started to change and the message and the things people were saying. It just all to me started to get a little diluted and people start talking about just things that just were low intelligence quotient in my opinion. You see what I'm saying? And that's just how I was feeling at the moment. What do you think about that, Deleuze?
I definitely agree with you. And what I wanted to say is I think that there needs to be a good balance between what is entertaining and what is lyrical and what is commercial and what you can dance to. I mean, just because something is lyrical doesn't mean that it can't be entertaining or commercial. And but obviously you don't need that 100% of the time, 24/7. Sometimes you want to just party or just relax or something like that. But there needs to be a good balance. And most of the artists nowadays that are signed with major labels are not bringing that balance. It seems like they're just trying to focus on just being completely entertaining and completely commercial and not giving one crap about do their lyrics even make sense? They just
I 100% agree with that. So just to move on to the topics of the day, here's a topic that I'm going to put out there, and it is, what do you think is more important? Do you think it's more important to get radio play or to go out there to shows and do performances? So I guess I'll start with Laci Kay, and then I'll work my way around to Deleuze and George. What do you think about that, Laci? Do you think it's more important to get your song on the radio or more important to perform your song?
I think both. Well, it all goes back to, I guess, depending on what you're trying to do, but I would say both, only because the more you get yourself out there, the more ways, the radio, the performing, the more people who see you, the more people you network with, rub elbows with, like the farther that you'll get and the more connections that you'll have. So I honestly think that everything is relevant and important and beneficial. So
well, you know what? I think that was a very safe answer, so I'm going to go ahead and put you on the spot. If you only had to pick, if you had an artist that you were dealing with and you could only do radio play or performing, which one would you choose and why?
Oh, see, now you're putting me on the spot. Getting me back. That's so hard. Probably performing, just because I love dressing up. I love getting dolled up. I love people screaming at me on stage. Like, I love being center of attention and just, making people feel good, talking to people, and just being out there. So probably I would say performing, but I would never pick just one.
Great. So what do you think, Deleuze?
Well, if you were just getting radio play, it's like you would just be sitting at home waiting for the check to come in. But when you're performing, you're really having a true experience. And not only you are having an experience as an artist, but also the fans, the people that are there with you, they're also having an experience. I think there's a unique experience to concerts and to performances that you can't just get just from turning on your radio. I remember, being younger and being at a concert and really feeling the energy of the concert and really being into the moment. And I think that's something that you can't reproduce automatically just by putting in a CD or by listening to the radio.
Deleuze, I know you're a beat maker, but, you say you rap too, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay, so you do live performances then?
Right, right.
Okay, so just to give everybody a little bit of input of what I think that a lot of artists that come out with music and that are independent, I think they actually focus a little too much on radio play because it seems like everybody wants to get their song on the radio. I want my song on the radio. I want my song on the radio. I want my song on the radio. But at the same time, no one knows you. So unless the first 3 seconds are hot, people are going to change the dial anyway. So that's why I always tell people that I believe that they need to focus on performing more, because if you perform more, that allows you to build a following and build a fan base. And when you build a fan base, they'll listen to the song and they'll say, oh, that sounds really good. Well, if you got your CD in the back, maybe I'll go back and purchase the CD. And they'll be like, okay, I remember that song is hot. And if you put it on the radio after you perform, then they can recognize the song from when you performed it, and they'll be like, oh, I like that song. Now I see he's doing big things because he performed it. I loved him there, and he's on the radio. So next time he does a show, I'm going to be there. What do you think about that, George?
Yeah, I think, of course, everybody said the same thing. The radio, it becomes a natural progression for after the performance, and part of performing the song is the excitement, the interaction, and the response of your audience. But so it's just as beneficial to the performer or the artist as it is to the audience to be a part of that. And the radio play is a goal or an aspiration that would come as a result of the performance. And I think if you strive to get on the radio, that would be a particular benefit or enhance your creative process, your songwriting or your beat making or whatever it might be. I think you have to do both, but I think it's essential to perform as an artist. And the radio play is, yes, it's something important, but I think that comes as a result of the performance.
I agree, and I think nowadays I like to call a lot of artists closet musicians. And the reason why I say that is because a lot of artists, you know, they have a studio hookup, or they might have a home studio, and they might roll out of bed and they might get on a microphone that's in their room, and they might rap, and they might get a CD, and then they're like, okay, I'm just posting on my Facebook, and now I'm gonna get on the radio, and then I'm gonna get signed, and that's it. But no, they're missing the key point. The key point is you have to constantly promote yourself, and the best promotion is actually performing. And then, like you said, the end goal, one of the next goals would be to get on the radio, but at the same time, when you get on the radio, you still have to be prepared. You have to have the certain documentation that you need in order for people to see your numbers. You have to have that in order. So it's not just, I'm on the radio, I made it. It's more steps that you have to take after you actually get on the radio. So does anyone have anything to say about that?
Sure. Do you guys have any way that I can get on the radio?
Yeah, give me some of your beats. I'll sing on them, and then.
I like that, Deleuze. All right, so next topic of the day. It's a topic that a lot of people go through, especially in the Texas area. I've been talking to a lot of musicians in Texas, and it was actually a big festival that went on in Texas recently. And the thing is that you actually have to pay to play. So what I want to ask you guys is, do you think paying to do shows is overrated, and do you think that's fair to the artist? What do you think about that, Laci?
I didn't even know this until you told me about it. I was like, I didn't know people paid for that. Like, I started thinking about it, and I mean, it sounds like a big festival. It might be beneficial, but I don't think I would ever pay to do that. I don't know. That's just, they should be paying the artist. But I don't know. That's like hard. I mean, it could be beneficial, but I mean, I would never do it. So that's just weird to me.
What do you think about that, Deleuze?
Well, I think it all depends on the position that you're in. If you have the ability to pay and And if you don't mind paying, and if you know that you're going to be, in front of important people that could possibly help you, then it could be a good opportunity. But for someone that's just starting from the bottom, uh, they still have time to go out and perform in a lot of different free places and to try to build up your name. So then once you get your name built up to a certain point, then I hope that you don't have to pay, or people won't be asking you to pay. You'll be invited, and they'll be paying you, or at least you'll be if you sing for free, then at least you can sell your album or whatever you have. So yeah, I think it just depends what position you're in. But I think that it is a good opportunity to take advantage of sometimes if you have the ability to do it.
Yeah, I kind of agree. I kind of agree with Deleuze a little bit because the fact of the matter is, everyone doesn't have name recognition. So when you're starting from the bottom, sometimes it's necessary to pay just to get in front of an audience, and then once you start to get in front of that audience, then your name gets known, and then people will start inviting you if your music is good to do their shows, and they might end up giving you income. But a lot of times when you're starting from the bottom, such as Drake says.
From the bottom, Howie.
So a lot of times when you're starting from the bottom, you do have to shell out a little bit of income, and I believe that that's synonymous to a lot of other things dealing with business. Because even when you're just starting out a business, and that goes along with a lot of things that we're going to get into in the webinar on Saturday. A lot of times musicians have to start treating their music like a business. So exactly, a lot of times in business, you have to make an initial investment, and it's not guaranteed that that investment is going to turn out into a profitable situation. I mean, it's hopeful, and you do everything you can to make it profitable, but it's no guarantees, and it's a high risk situation. And I think you need to do the same thing with music. What do you think about that, George?
Yeah, I agree. What you're talking about in general here is it reasonable, practical, is it beneficial to pay for advertising or for promotion? If you have to pay to get on stage to perform, I agree with Laci. You're going to think twice about that. Why should I be paying? I'm the entertainer. They should be paying to see me, to hear me. But not everybody gets the opportunity to walk into a venue and get up on stage and perform. There's certain prerequisite. There's requirements. There's all sorts of expectations, and one of them is recognition and talent and perhaps even exposure already. So if you're just at the beginning stages, then this is perhaps as important that is paying to get on stage to perform. It may be just as important as having a CD to hand to somebody. Or if you're a model like Laci, she didn't get her jobs, her bookings, without having photographs. At some point, she had to have a collection of photos that someone could see what she looks like before they hired her. So a musician, a performer, an artist without a CD is like conducting business without a business card or without an office. I think there's something that's required. So is it reasonable, practical, is it worthwhile to pay to get on stage to perform? Yes, in some cases I think it is. It might even be necessary.
Okay, so what I want to get into is I just want to go ahead and show people the websites of Deleuze and George today. Right now, I have a website pulled up. I'm not sure if it's Deleuze's or George's. Whose website is this, Deleuze?
That's George's. That's YRS Midi, which is George's studio here in Orlando. Off of 1792 and 436 is very convenient to locate. So if anybody has any questions, you can go to yrsmidi.com, click on contact, and then you'll be able to see the phone number and give us a call. to come in and record.
All right, so that was www.yrsmidi.com. So
Right.
now what I want to do is try to pull up the Losers website. So yeah, right now we have the Losers website, and that's
Is this
www.themaestroesmusic.wordpress.com.
you? Is this you rapping or is this just your beats? Or both?
Well, my mixtape has tracks from, I have remixes, and I also have tracks from independent artists that I have produced. And I also have one track of me, which is singing in Spanish, a Spanish love song, at the end of the mixtape as well. But you can find all sorts of things on my blog, including some music videos that I have co-produced as well. Including Siddiq's By My Side, which is a dance hall, and we recorded that in Atlanta. So we made a music video to it. It's right there on my page, and so I hope you guys enjoy that one.
Okay, cool. So that's about it for this episode. Does anyone have any closing statements that they want to make?
Sure. Well, I would like people to check out my mixtape. It's right there on my page, on my blog. And what's our phone number here at YRS Media?
407
407
331 6333.
All right, Laci, you got anything else you want to say?
Well, I would give you my number, but you know.
Laci, you could do that after we're offline. Yeah.
All right, you guys. Well, I thank everyone for taking their time out today and talking with us. And we will see you next week.
Well done, Franko. Laci, thank you very much. Enjoyed it. Had a good time.
Thanks a lot, Franko and Laci.
Later.